This conference will now be recorded.
Good evening. The time being 6:02 p.m. I'll call to order the Tuesday, August 11th, 2026 meeting of the Tilton Planning Board. Let the record show that we do not have a full board. We are missing two. Sorry, I'm having a mental. So, are they coming or are they not coming? Or are they?
Right here. No, they're not.
No, the
No.
people missing. Okay, that's all I
No,
need to
the
know.
people missing are not coming.
Okay. So we do not have, well, we have a quorum. That's the important part.
We have to ask.
Yep. So we have to, well, I'm going to call it into our meet,
Yep.
the applicant in there. So first on our agenda is Planning Board Case 26-17, Sharam LLC, Econo Lodge, 650 Laconia Road, site plan. It's map R06, lot 23-A in the resort commercial zone. And since you appear to be, so I'm going to formally ask you, are you okay meeting with the board that we don't have a full board? Okay. So let the record show that, and I'm sorry, I don't know your name.
Sarah Wordy with Du Bois and King.
Sarah is okay. And we have to go through the application.
I'll make a motion to bring the application to the board.
Second.
Motion a second to bring the application to the board. Take a look over and see if it appears to be, I keep digging into stuff here. Sorry, we have a lot of paper today. Oh, here it is. All right, there it is. Is it wordy? Wordy?
Wordy.
Okay, no, I'm just looking for my own self, sorry.
Appears to be reasonably complete.
Is that a motion?
Make a motion to accept.
You need to talk in the mic.
Make a motion to accept the application.
Second.
Motion second, any discussion?
Is existing landscape required? It says it's required, but it says not applicable.
It's not applicable.
It's not applicable because this is a revision of the existing site plan.
Okay.
You already went through that before.
Okay, so I wasn't going crazy.
Right.
Okay, thanks. Whoa, warning next time. All right, motion on the table. Any more discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion passes. Floor is yours. Oh, you're going to do the microphone trick.
Yes, that's all right. Whole performance.
Sing
tonight.
it, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not that good at singing.
Do you need music?
So this application may look a little bit familiar to you. It came to the board last summer for renovations to the current or existing Econo Lodge that is now Tilton Lodge. They were proposing renovations with a small addition, getting rid of the restaurant and creating a ballroom meeting space. So the reason that I am back before you is that the owner and the architect were taking another look at the floor plan and made, which in the footprint of things, a minor adjustment, but it added additional rooms. So the 2025 plan is the existing building with a proposed addition. The total footprint was about 8,800 square feet, and it had 60 rooms. This is what it was approved last year. And I am here before you today with an additional 100 feet, which was taken out of the patio. So no increase in impervious area resulting from this change. But it now has 9 additional rooms, which required additional parking. So because of the approval did mention specifically the 60 rooms, I'm here today to ask for an additional 9 rooms and to just show some of the changes we made to the site to accommodate the additional parking. Additional drainage was configured in order to still meet the pre and post design flows. So one of the changes that we made was before there were 2 retaining walls that were separated here. So they kind of taper into the slope in order to create a little bit more space, a few additional parking spots, more space around the well for snow storage at the head of the parking spots. We actually connected those walls. We also moved the dumpster location over towards the end of the wall, which actually allowed us to shorten the wall. We moved the dumpster here and this wall got shorter. We added additional parking at the end of this aisle. Down here, we added 1 spot to this row. We kind of just sprinkled in a parking spot here and there so the changes don't seem that significant. We tightened up this radius to fit a parking spot here. The change in the footprint of the building really was a bump out that was previously patio area, and now the recessed paver patio area is just smaller. I tried to highlight like what we know changed to make it a little bit easier. Any questions?
So with the dumpster location change, is it going to be fenced in or open?
It's still going to have a dumpster enclosure.
Okay.
Yes. If landscape is an item that you'd like me to cover, I'm not sure. They adjusted things slightly. I do have the landscape plans if you would like to see them. One of the, as you may remember, this original plan was with a subdivision to separate the home from the business. And there's pretty intricate buffering proposed along the property line. You can pull it out.
So the property was originally not subdivided. It's the business and the house on the same lot.
That's my
The last site plan, they subdivided it, the house from the business. That's
Okay.
all been done the last time that they were in here.
In 20.
Okay. So
Correct.
now it's 2 separate lots.
Right, with a
Got it.
retaining wall in between the house and the lot.
You see the dash line on the left there? That's the,
This is
yeah,
the-
that's
This is the property line that was approved last year.
Okay. Thank you.
Chairman,
yes.
if you run out of snow storage, you're gonna cart it off? Because it seems like small
Yes.
areas for all this parking.
How many total? Oh, you said you increased it. How many parking spaces?
We have
Three.
No, they sprinkled
Oh,
them in here
4,
and there,
yeah.
I see
Yes.
4.
So 92 spaces now, and previously we had 83.
Okay, so you added, I'm not
9.
good at math, 9. So basically 1 per room.
One per room, which that's what spurred really the
Yep.
site plan change was the need for additional parking.
Thank you, Pat.
There's larger plans there for you as well. 2 sets in the front there.
Is it going to be meeting space that you're adding or is it just room space that you're adding?
Just just hotel rooms.
Just, okay.
Yep.
There's no meeting. So, because you said something about the restaurant meeting space.
As part of the original proposal last year, there was 2,300 square feet of banquet hall space. That was approved last year and is not changing.
Oh, okay. So there'll still be that space, 23, whatever it was.
2,300 square feet.
Thank you.
Yes.
And there's no change to handicap parking, right? And we meet regulations.
Correct.
one.
75 spaces. The next threshold for requiring another one would be 100. So we're still under that.
You ready? I'll make a motion to accept the plan as presented.
Second,
Motion and second is, what about, and did we have conditions for last year on the last approval? Because we would have to add those
yeah.
back in, I believe. Pat, if we approve this, do we have to add back in the conditions that we had in it
If they
last year?
think they stand with the original plan, I don't think that would
Could
be
we-
necessary, but
Could
Just
we-
we can reference the previous approval.
Yeah, could we
Subdiv-
approve
cover
it
it.
with
Yeah.
the
Why don't-
conditions?
Wait, one at a time, please.
I'll make a motion to accept the plan as presented with the condition that any conditions in the previous approval remain.
Second.
There wasn't any.
I mean, what
Oh.
about the standard, comply with all local,
There-
state, federal?
The subdivision, there were no condition of approval. In the site plan back on June 2nd, 2021, there were 4 certificate of occupancy from the building inspector, CO from the fire department, old deck to be removed, a building permit to erect the new deck. And I believe that this was,
Is that for the home?
this is for the home,
Okay.
correct? Right.
Okay.
So it wasn't for the hotel, it was for the home.
Thank you.
And the answer to your question, you wouldn't have to, because I added with the understanding that all,
Yeah. Well, she just
Previous.
said there were none.
yeah.
So I thought there was one in there, but
It's a standard that we always put in that has to meet all local fire state ordinances.
yeah, I thought that we had a condition that there had to be some type of buffer between the parking lot and the driveway.
Unless it's another case.
No, I got a lot of stuff going on upstairs, so I could be.
Oh, yeah, because wouldn't there be 2 prior cases tied to this? The
The
The site-
July 25 site plan approval.
the original concept site plan approval, and then
I
the
said would take care of that.
dividing the property into 2 separate lots, because those were separate
I said
cases,
would take
correct?
care
Yeah.
of that.
Show you. This is what I mean when I say pretty elaborate landscaping. So these are all like trees.
Is any
Yeah.
of that existing?
No,
No.
this is all proposed.
Okay.
Oh, okay, so they're essentially built.
They plan to create a whole vegetated buffer along the perimeter of this property to create a buffer from the residential use,
Okay, so it's-
including the driveway.
Okay. All right. So we're good? Pat, we're good?
Yep.
Thank you. All right. Any other discussion? Motion on the table. All those in favor of the motion say aye.
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 Aye. Opposed? Motion, abstentions? Motion passes. Thank you. That should have made her sweat it out a little bit for being a couple minutes. So I'm just kidding. Oh, I'm sorry.
There
All
we
right.
go.
All right. This is this. So this goes over here. Oh, where'd my agenda go? Hey, there we go. I got it. Next on our agenda is the minutes of July 14th, 2026. Has everyone had a chance to review these? The only question I have, and I didn't catch this at that meeting last week, and I don't know if Jeff Hines has any relation to Hines Septic. That was okay. Because I would just maybe put a note that no relation between Hines Septic and Jeff Hines. If there is none, I don't know.
I don't think we usually look at family trees, so I'm not sure that's even appropriate.
Well, he voted. I think that's the only, he's just mentioning because he voted, yeah.
Well, but they were not the owner of the property, right? They were just
No, but there
doing.
was a company called Hines Septic Design Services, and our ex officio is Jeff Hines.
Right. But it's a contractor for
Yeah, it's a
work going
contractor,
on the
but
property. It's not the property owners
To make
themselves.
money though.
And
but to make money.
Still,
well, he would have had to have recused himself if
Yeah.
that had been the case.
correct.
Right.
But that would be if it was his company, not if
Correct.
it was like a cousin's company
No.
or something like that.
No.
right?
No,
Yeah.
same thing.
But sometimes
It
just
would
for
be up to
clarification.
it would be up to the member to say, I have a person, a family member that a conflict and I need to recuse myself on this. It would be up to the member to bring that up, not up to the other members. Although there is a case that you would bring, the members of the planning board would vote, but it would not be a binding vote, that you would say, well, I think you should recuse yourself, and that would be the telltale for the person to recuse themselves if you felt that strongly about it. But it's normally up to the person to say, yes, I should recuse myself. However, this, Mr. Hines is relatively new and doesn't know the lay of the land, so sometimes it's always nice to point it out and ask in a nice way, is this any relation, or, are there any recusals to be had or whatever, something to that effect.
Yeah,
To
just,
point it out, to say, hey, should we think about a recusal here? And then they could say yes or no.
because in a year when someone goes to read these minutes
Correct.
and they see Hines and Hines,
Right,
but if you make a note that there's no relation,
right.
you're CYA.
Yep. Eric's right.
I guess so. At what point would like familial relation no longer be a conflict? I guess.
It's up to the person.
Okay, so
It's
it's-
whether it's a pecuniary issue or not. You can have cousins and so on and so forth, but if you're in the business and you're hiring someone from a company that's owned by your cousin and it becomes a financial benefit to you and your cousin, then you need to recuse yourself because it's a financial gain. That's when you recuse yourself.
Thank
Other
you.
than that, you don't.
Yeah.
There's nothing in it for you. You make that determination yourself. I can't make that determination for you. My opinion differs from you.
And I think sometimes the board can vote on whether they need to recuse himself.
The board can vote on an opinion,
But it's
Okay.
it's non-binding.
but it's non-binding.
Okay.
They can suggest and say, well, we all feel that you should. It's that close. However, it's up to you. The bottom line is it's that person. It's that person makes that decision only, and only that person.
Yep.
Whether that brings us to court or not, it's still up to that person.
If
We've
there-
had that happen recently, a year ago in zoning.
We got sued.
Right.
All right, thanks.
Okay.
I just was seeing that for the first time in print and
Well, it's a good catch.
I was like, huh. All right, next,
We didn't make a motion.
We need,
right?
yeah.
oh. Thanks. Good catch.
Thank you,
Was there a motion?
Yeah, I made the motion.
All right, all those in favor of the motion say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion passes. All right. Next on our agenda is rules of procedures and permits, two separate items, I'm assuming.
Yes.
Okay,
Eric. Oh,
so,
Rules of procedure need updating. They haven't been updated since 2001.
Oh, boy.
Well, you're ahead of the game. Zoning hasn't been since way before that, 92.
wow.
So we sent them out hoping that you would at least read them and see if there's anything that you needed to update it.
Did you see something that needed updating? Pat and Mandy?
You did, right? Hmm?
so
So I made a few notes. I think that it would be beneficial at some point when you guys do have time to look at it to maybe modernize the language as well. But just right off the bat, if we go to page 2, the meetings do just say at 6:30. We always meet at 6. That's an easy, quick update. That's under C. I think that based on recent attendance, we were just looking to see opinions from, the chair and the board just to see what you guys wanted to do for attendance, because that's something that you have to approve. That's in removal of members, quorum, that area. So I don't want to necessarily tell you what to do with that piece, but I do think that maybe that's something to look at and consider what other boards may do. I don't know if Pat has anything to add on that.
6:30 was in number D too.
Yep, it's in both
Yeah,
places,
it's
right?
probably throughout it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
We really need to know sooner than rather than 3:30 in the evening
Right.
of the said hearing. We probably would need to know about noontime. Because if we don't have a quorum, what's happening is, and this just happened in zoning.
Yeah.
We did not have a quorum. People came from out of state,
Oh,
some on airplanes, some engineers, lawyers. You think of the money that the people are putting out
Yep.
just to have a hearing here, and then think about all of the people that are coming to the meeting to hear abutters, and think of the money that they're outlaying for abutters to get there. And then they have to do it all over again because they don't have a quorum. So it's not fair to the people that are showing up and outlaying thousands of dollars for lawyers, planes, trains, and cars to get here. And then they sit here to find out that there's not a quorum. People need to step it up, and people are not calling us, and they're not giving us the time of day. And Mandy and I are spending the day before and the day of calling, emailing. First we're emailing, and if we don't get a response, then we're calling that day and say, are you going to show up? And then it's a gamble. Some people show up, some people don't. And we shouldn't have to do that. Nobody should have to do that. So going forward, whether or not we're here or not, nobody should have to do that. And the people that pay this amount of money in permitting and everything else, they deserve to have a quorum.
well, they're also potentially delaying their project, costing them even thousands more.
Even thousands more. It's unconscionable because now they have to wait another month, particularly in the summer,
Right.
because you only meet once.
Right.
So
What about alternates? I know we don't have alternates. Does the zoning have?
we just don't have enough participation.
no, but the
Right.
board, so just so you know that the select board voted that the land use coordinator can step in on a quorum. When there's no quorum, I can step in, but it gets very delicate in the planning board. I can only step in if there's no quorum and the ex officio is not here, because you cannot have two select board members on the board. So it gets dicey in that respect.
So if Jane wasn't here tonight,
I could step in.
you could have stepped in
Correct.
because our ex officio
Correct.
is not here.
Yep. And I can also do that in zoning as well, but I'd prefer not to.
Right.
And I think that the cases would prefer not to as well, because I know so much more of the case than you do. And so you have an objective view of what's going on, and you can make an objective vote. I know from A to Z that case.
You know the case intimately where
I do. Mhm.
we don't.
Well, the case and the people applying. So that was some advice we got from the lawyer, because we had asked about myself as well. And I communicate too much with the people involved in the case to really.
But are you a Tilton resident?
No,
I'm
that's
not.
the
That's,
other.
that's another thing. But
Okay.
if I
Yeah.
was,
Even if she was,
No, I just think I thought
Right.
you
I,
lived.
I live in Northfield.
Yeah, I'm like, I thought you lived somewhere else.
well, right, she wouldn't be able to because she's not a Tilton resident. But if she was a Tilton resident, it's still not advisory, because we would like not to do that
Yeah.
because we know so much of the case.
I think it just gets messy.
It could.
So
We're not saying it would, but it could. I mean, we could be objective when we have to be. We are always trying to be objective when people call in, whether it's a resident or a developer, it doesn't matter. The rule is the rule.
yeah, you're too close to it, for impartiality to be, unquestionable, I guess.
If something came about, you just wouldn't want any question legally. To avoid it as much as possible was advised,
Correct.
basically.
Right.
So what is the minimum number of members that the planning board needs to actually be able to meet?
I think you're looking at it.
4.
Or
But so I guess what would happen if, we only had, 3 members of the planning board? If we only got 3 applicants or appointees, then it just would cease to function?
No, you would have to, if you only had 3 members of the planning board,
Yeah,
the
'cause-
cases would not be scheduled. We would not be able to schedule cases. And I believe that there's an appeal process that we could go to zoning and or the Board of Selectmen in the cases. There's something in the rules of regulations in the law that we could do that, but I'd have to read up on it. I can't.
an RSA, I believe.
Yes, it is, Jane, but I'm not familiar with that RSA. I haven't gone there yet. So I don't want to go ever there. I do know a few years back, there was no zoning board, and we are the appeal process, the selectmen are the appeal process for the zoning. So we had to take on a couple of cases while we rebuilt the zoning board.
Under the rules of procedure, the two that I don't question them. I just want to make sure we don't want to change them. It's under other matters.
What page?
Hmm?
By the way, on what you were talking about before, I'm fine with noon time, so the rest you want to vote on.
I'm fine with noontime also.
Okay. I'll make a note of that to change. I can also just put
Well,
it out
they have
there.
to all agree, not just us.
Yeah.
Well, do we want to make wholesale changes today, or do we want to? I mean,
Why
I-
not?
Yeah.
I mean, if we can agree on any changes today, that's probably a
Bonus.
good thing. And then we can always
Yeah.
revisit and update in the future if people have additional thoughts or ideas post this meeting.
well, I'll let you. There was another thing in here, a couple other items in here that
That's fine. We can do
Yeah.
that.
Go for it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Go
it's-
for it.
We can do
Uh,
them all tonight. That's
Well, just like the order of business.
Okay.
That was something I made a note on as well, thinking you guys might want to
Well,
look
I just looked at what our agenda was today, and we don't follow that order of business in any way, shape, or form.
Right.
And that's been for as long as I can remember that we've never, always, I think it was so that if there was any issues, for lack of a better word, amongst the board over minutes and things like that, that we didn't have to air that all out in front of an audience where we put the agenda. But the only drawback I see to that is if there's a continuance of a case,
Mhm. You have to put that first.
you have to put those minutes
Yeah.
first before you
You have to
can.
put the case first if you continue it.
There is a portion that if you turn the page, it does say the chair may alter the above order to best accommodate the public or the board
Oh.
provided. So it does cover you for changing the order as needed for the public or for you guys. So you could still change the order if you guys vote on that, but still keep that paragraph in so that if you do feel as chair to move things around, you have that ability.
Yeah, we always do minutes last, pretty much.
Yeah. And then on
The
page-
application for subdivision on page 4, for subdivision or review of site plan, a written application is required. The applicant must file within the land use administrative assistant by noon on Friday. It's not noon on Friday. It is, the RSA is very specific. It's noon, it's 9 days prior to, and I can get the RSA out, but we really should be going by the RSA. It's
Yep.
It's noon by RSA, and it could be end up on any day of the week. It's 9 days prior to the date of the
hearing.
the hearing, correct?
Yeah.
So if the hearing
Okay.
is on the 18th, then it's 9 days prior to that. You have to buy noon time on that date. 11 days prior to that, you have to have it. And then 9 days prior to that, we have to mail them out. And there's a whole thing on the RSAs that we have to mail out abutters notices, mail out applicant notices, and then we have 5 days to mail out the notice of decision. But this whole paragraph is not correct because it says that by noon, 12 noon on Friday, 18 days prior to the meeting, which subdivision of the proposal is desired, and it's not by RSA. So my suggestion would be is to write this according to the RSA,
Right.
specifically to the RSA, and bring it back for approval for you.
Something tells me the RSA might have changed in the past 26 years.
Yeah.
Yes. It has, and
They got this thing called the internet now. So there's, well, the other, I mean, in that I had that paragraph too. I don't think we have it, and I don't know what the official titles are, so pardon me, but a land use administrative assistant.
So my thought was to present to you guys too for this is just to have the language updated and RSAs updated. And you guys, I mean, up to you what you want to do. We could go through and update those things as a general housekeeping.
Sure.
If there's specific things that you want to change, like the order of things, I definitely don't mind going through updating the language, making it, people's titles and everything correctly.
Mhm.
And then our next meeting, I can bring up the cleaned up version, but also I wanted to give you guys.
Can you, I don't know what the right term is, red line the changes so that we can see.
Yeah, I
the
can give you
change.
guys like a before and after. If
Yeah,
that,
well,
if
like
that
even if you
helps.
just make the changes in red on
Yeah.
the next version,
Yep.
I mean,
Yeah, when you print it, it just comes out like a gray color compared to the dark black, so it sticks out.
those of us that can get a color printer, we can get it red.
we can,
don't have color
we
ink.
understand what you're trying to say. We just don't want to overstep our boundary here
no,
because we don't want to make changes that are not conducive to your decision, because this is a planning board decision on the rules of procedure. We can certainly change the RSAs and we can change the procedural,
The
The-
time,
the times and things
titles,
like that.
yeah.
We don't have any issues with that in language that we know that is just a grammatical noon instead. If that's what you want, we can do that. and then bring it back to you.
Yeah, there was, I went through and I read some other towns' rules and procedures,
Yep.
and actually, the town of Wyndham,
Mhm.
they actually have a fairly, it's like 10 pages.
Yep.
So I was just going to towns that I hadn't gone to for anything else in my past, and then and the last page, it has all the different dates that it's been updated. You know, December 92, April 93, March 99, August 99. So whenever they've done it. But one of the other things that they talked about, or they did in theirs, was, and whatever, but they had roles and responsibilities. Like, so it listed the chair, the vice chair, alternates, the clerk. I don't think we have a clerk,
No, we don't
but
have a
I
clerk,
believe
right.
you're considered the clerk. It talks about minutes and things like that. Because like the RSAs for getting things out, a draft version within 5 days of the
Mhm.
of the meeting and things like that. I mean, I don't think it's been an issue in the
Right.
past, but I'm
That's
sure.
all administrative too.
Yeah.
Right.
But
I think that, and there's been questions in the past, really, what's my role in it? And I've always understood that I'm advisory only to you folks. So, at least that's what my job description says, but, so what really is the role of the land use coordinator to the planning board? And I really think that needs to be identified in your rules of procedure, not mine, but your rules of procedure.
what was your question again? What is
The role of the land use coordinator to the planning board.
Was that in the Wyndham one, Eric? Because you
um,
said it mentioned clerk.
yeah, hold on. Well, are you talking about in your day-to-day role, or are you talking
No,
about
no, I'm
in
just talking
in the
about
meetings?
meetings,
Okay.
right? I'm just talking about meetings because you
That's what I
remember
thought, because I'm
in the
not,
past, it's been questioned
yep.
during a meeting. When you've asked me a question, I've answered it. I've been yelled at and saying, that's not your role.
Well, I think
It is
you're-
supposed to be advisory. I'm
Yeah,
pretty sure.
that's
right?
what we've always.
Well, do you remember? I did get questioned on that. You're absolutely right. It is.
It's just advisory. We still make a decision, but
Right.
you know, we
You
kind of,
are the ultimate decision-making people.
I mean, in this one, this is Wyndham again. It says, I'll just read what it says for the clerk. It says, and again, there's titles in here that this town doesn't have.
Yeah, I've read Wyndham's.
Yeah, the community development director, community planner, or their designee shall function as the clerk for the board. The clerk shall administer official correspondence subject to these rules and at the direction of the board. Shall issue the proper forms, compile all information, maps, and records for the board's review. Shall send all notices required by law. Shall keep the minutes of all board actions and proceedings. Shall prepare reports and perform other duties as directed by the board. And shall keep records of its examinations and other official actions. The clerk, in consultation with the chair, shall prepare the agenda for each meeting, provide all supportive documentation, and make said materials available to each board member by the Friday in advance of each meeting. And I don't know when their board meets. The clerk shall also make public notice of the agenda of each meeting in accordance with the appropriate regulations. Any board member may request and have placed on the agenda any item for discussion.
and you do all that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And those are really job descriptions, not rules of procedure for the planning board.
Right. That's like something Pat and I both share in our job roles.
But
Part of that.
again, Jane, they are in job description, but for rules of procedure, and so that it doesn't, and think about this, I may not be here in this position, but a land use coordinator position, if it ever gets questioned again, you have it in your rules of procedure. And that's what I think that it should be in the rules of procedure.
And this is a,
And
this is-
that's,
I don't agree with that. I think all of the stuff that he just read are parts of a job description. We could put something in here about your role, the
Mhm.
land use coordinator's role in the rules of procedure of the planning board,
Correct.
but I don't think we need that long
Yeah.
enumeration of things. As
Well,
to when
He's
things
reading
are to
the
be
role of
posted
the
and so on and
clerk.
so forth.
I was just reading
If
the
he's
rule.
reading the role of the clerk, and if you look at the planning board, our planning board
Mhm.
rules of procedure, you'll see entwined in the rules of procedure in 8 pages, you'll see the word clerk in there. It's the same that what he's reading in Wyndham's is pretty much what the clerk is all about. But it's only using the word clerk instead of land use coordinator.
No, I know that.
Okay, so,
And I guess the
and I think
posting
that it really
is-
needs to be in there.
Yeah, and the posting of the
Okay,
public
well-
hearings and all that is just related to this, not
Correct.
just job description. It is
It-
related
Yeah.
to the board meetings, yeah.
Yeah,
And
And
then,
I mean-
oftentimes a board member will say, hey, Pat, blah, 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 you
Right.
know, so
Yeah, I mean, the
help
land,
us.
the land
Okay,
use
you want a
court,
manual, that's fine. I thought we were just doing rules of procedure, planning board rules of procedure.
a lot of these
You
towns
are.
a lot of these towns, these rules and procedures are over 10 pages.
they are.
And
There's a lot of them. Concord is just about 10
that's a
pages.
city, so
And
but it's
maybe it-
still planning board.
It's still planning board.
Yeah.
It's still
And maybe
planning
it
board.
got to that because somebody questioned it.
Well,
and
ours
that's
is
why
8
you need-
pages.
Yeah,
yeah.
no, I know.
I
And
mean-
theirs
So-
is 10. So, but this is like a template that was on a state website. I don't know if it was New Hampshire Economy.
Probably the same one I printed from NHMA.
No,
Is
this
that-
was
no?
New
Okay.
Hampshire Economy.com or something like
okay.
that. Or I don't know. But and it's 2023, but it says, sorry, you were changed to secretary in their version, but it says the secretary shall keep a full and accurate record of the procedures and of each meeting, issue notices of all meetings, record the names of the members present, notify applicants and abutters of hearings, prepare such correspondence and fulfill such duties as the chairman may specify. In the absence of the secretary, the chairman shall appoint a secretary pro tem to keep records of the meeting. So, I mean, that's kind of,
I think we better check the definitions of the secretary. The only reason I'm bringing that up is because those forms that we have to
Yeah.
turn in to the state that have to be signed.
The
sometimes
plans,
That's the secretary of the planning board.
Okay.
That says that under it. Now, if that's the case,
so the clerk is different than the secretary.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
and we don't have either of those.
Right.
We should have a secretary. Wasn't it voted on last time?
yeah, you were the secretary, I thought. No, you were. I
If
thought
I
that-
failed on the.
It was not voted on.
It wasn't voted on because I wasn't here then, but I think my name was put on there at one point, but you have to have somebody sign the plans.
And
Secretary.
Mr. Chair, just for the record for where I'm writing this, under members, is that where you would maybe want to put these on page 2? Under organization, it lists out members before officers, meetings, quorum. Is
Mhm.
that where maybe you'd want me to add that in this update if we vote on it?
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Okay.
The other, on page
Be moved,
7,
obviously.
if you look at page 7 of 8 and look at on the top where it says 3 and 4, look at number 4. Formal written notice of the decision will be mailed to the applicant and registered with the town clerk within 72 hours of the meeting. I had no idea that that was even there.
Yeah.
And guess what? I checked with the town clerk.
Yeah.
In the last 15 years, nothing's ever been sent down to her.
Wow.
So do we take that out
I believe the parcel
or do we
files is-
start doing that?
I thought that was an RSA. I know when.
I've
I
not come
know
across that RSA. I'm sorry.
Anytime minutes of a meeting are, the person who does the minutes.
The minutes are different. This is
Okay.
not the minutes. This is a notice of
Oh,
decision.
all right, okay.
Minutes are always recorded and they're kept downstairs.
Yes.
Those are always recorded. That's not an issue. It's
Notice of decision, I don't really know what we've ever done with them.
But the
notice of decisions get filed, they're digitally in their parcel file and they're also digitally with the case
Okay.
here and they're sent out to the applicant.
And that's, the decision is in the minutes, so technically you are following it. They get the minutes down there, right?
Maybe not by the 72
The motion
hour.
is in with the
Oh.
minutes, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the decision, that is, I mean,
Right.
formal written.
Decision.
yeah.
Right. The formal notice of decision is mailed to the applicant and registered with the town clerk. No. Formal written notice of the decision, no.
But
And who
the
mails it?
town
Who-
clerk.
We
has-
mail it. Our office mails the written formal, I write it and I send it out formally to the owner and also to probably, if it's a developer, we also do the engineer or lawyer, depending.
But so the town clerk does have access to those files though, right?
Yeah, they're right here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean,
Maybe just check to see if that's an RSA or anything.
Yeah, and I do have, NHMA does have suggested rules or procedures with RSAs listed. I can make you all a copy of this, so if you want to look at that between our next meeting, because this is up to date 2023. I think it's similar to maybe what Eric has, but yeah, it doesn't have that in here, so it might be helpful for just next time for you guys to review.
I'm just looking here for a second.
Can I see that?
So-
Make one for me.
So in this blank one, that's New Hampshire economy,
Yep.
in decisions, it doesn't say specifically that you have to give it to the town clerk. It says the board shall render a written decision within 65 days of the date of acceptance of a completed application. That's that 65-day rule that we have to act on something, but subject to extension or waiver as provided in RSA 676:4. If the planning board does not act on the application within that 65-day time period, unless the board has determined that the application is a development of regional impact, which gives the board an additional 30 days, then the governing body, selectmen or town council, is required to approve the application. The board shall act to approve, conditionally approve, or disapprove. Notice of decision will be made available for public inspection at a location within 5 days after the decision is made as required in RSA 676:3. And then the decision shall include specific written findings of fact that support the decision. Failure of the board to make specific written findings of the fact supporting a disapproval shall be grounds for automatic reversal and remand by the Superior Court upon appeal in accordance with the time period set forth in RSA 677:5 or RSA 677:15, unless the court determines that there are other factors. So it doesn't say anything about that you have to give it to that, but it says records of the board shall be kept by the secretary and shall be made available for public inspection at the office of the board or office of the town clerk under RSA 91A:4. So
I mean, the final minutes are available online as
yeah,
well
that's
as the
minutes though,
actual.
but these are decisions, but decisions it doesn't have.
That's an appendix from where though?
This is a blank template from a website called New Hampshire Economy.
Yep. We got that one.
It's updated in 2020.
2023.
And
Let's see. At least we kind of look.
I think that you have the same one I have, so
Yeah.
Hampshire OPD.
Great minds think.
I mean, the decisions are
I wouldn't go
available
that
to the
far, but-
public here.
It's a
The
great
town
minds
clerk
think
has
alike.
access, so.
Just
and that would have all the updated RSAs too.
yeah, it involves all the updated RSAs, and I believe the blurb above it too was because NHMA is where I got mine, where they hold classes where lawyers help hold the classes. So
Yeah.
the language I think is some of that might be good to pull from my opinion, because it is officially from somewhere that has legal staff on site. Just my opinion to throw towards the board, but
I think if there's anything we can use created by NHMA, that probably protects us more than generating stuff in house.
Mhm.
there's one employee handbook and it's all been copied by other people. So
Do we even have to put note the time we meet? As long as it says the second and fourth Tuesday of each month?
I think you have to say the time.
Well, you have to say the time.
Does that
Have
have to
to?
be in the
Mhm.
procedures though?
I believe so.
No,
Okay.
In the procedures?
no, doesn't have to be in the rules of procedure. No,
No, that's what I'm saying.
Oh.
no, it doesn't have to be in the rules of procedure. You can just say the second and fourth.
Yeah, if we can just eliminate time and then we were
Okay.
gonna change the time, but
Yeah, I can just
We-
remove
because-
it.
You can just
depending
say
on the
to be
board will
determined.
depend on the time.
Okay.
Because there are times that we met at 7. We first met, we met at 7, didn't we?
Yeah. Then I went to 6:30.
Yeah.
Then you went to 6:30, then you went to
And then went to
7.
6.
At 6, I mean.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'll make a note just to go through.
Well,
and-
this template, I'm going to call it the template. It just says regular meetings shall be held at least monthly at place at time on the day of each month.
Yep,
So,
It does
and then
say
it
that.
says special meetings may be called by the chairman or in his or her absence by the vice chairman or at the request of 3 members of the board, provided public notice and notice to each member is given at least 48 hours in advance.
See, I know you only have to meet once a month. It's not required that you meet twice. And it used to be, it depended on the caseload.
but you're
didn't it?
required to meet at least once a month.
Yeah,
Right.
it depended on the caseload.
Yeah, but if we don't meet twice a month, my gosh, we'd be here till midnight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I know
But remember that we used to not only meet once a month.
some people get,
Well, even when we met at 7.
well,
we
we'd
were
meet
here
once a month in the
late.
summer,
No, we
And
did
then-
all the time. when-
November and December. We don't meet twice a month year round.
No, you don't.
Uh,
No, July and August you meet once,
Mhm.
Yeah.
and then in December you meet once.
What about when there's an election in November? Is an election day a Tuesday?
Sometimes, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we ran into problems at one time, remember? We had meetings the same night we had election. Then that was changed.
Yeah.
So that,
And other people were on other committees, because wasn't there like, because
Yeah.
fire was the same or something, or, and people,
Well, when I was a fire commissioner, the meetings.
it was tougher, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's tough.
So.
I mean, that's a
But-
reason I had to stop.
But then you have to
being on the
you update your rules
building
and
committee.
procedures saying that as of whatever date, these are updated as of, June 1st, 2028. And now this will be the official time.
You just don't wait 26 years to update it again.
No,
No, I think,
so if you do that, we'll send it to us before the meeting and
see,
we'll
we
look
don't
at
do
it.
this either.
And we're not allowed to send any additional changes through the email, right? Until
Correct.
the day of. Yeah.
Right.
So if you have
we-
changes, you have to write it and come here. But I saw the joint meeting thing kind of triggered something about quorums. Couldn't we ask people on the zoning to be an alternate and vice versa?
There is something that you can do so you're allowed a certain amount of a zoning person to join on the planning, but planning or vice versa. I have to look at it. Planning
know.
can be on the zoning or vice versa. It's one of those.
Do you go
But-
to the zoning?
Yeah,
Maybe
I
we
do.
can
Yeah.
present, say, anybody want to be our alternate and we'll do the same or something like that.
Not,
I thought members of the planning board can't be members of the zoning
I
board.
think it's either or. I believe
a
it's,
check.
I have to check it. I
Right.
believe zoning can be on the planning. But
We
who would
can't
want
be
to,
on
that's the
zoning.
appeal.
Right.
So
Do check on this too, on page 3, under conflict of interest and disqualification. B,
what do you want me to check?
well, we don't do that. Is that required or is that just something that was put in to be nice?
B, he just asked if anybody has potential conflict of interest.
Yeah, we don't ask that.
Because
because
it's
that
left
would
up
be
to the person to say, hey,
No, but according to these rules of procedure, we're supposed to be asking that,
yeah, and we don't.
and we don't. So I don't think we need that.
Yeah, I can look to see if it's required and give that to you guys as well.
So here's a catch 22 if you will. So page 2, we have a quorum, right?
Yep.
And to get alternates, you have to, the idea is to let alternates know if they will be needed that evening. But then on page 5, oh, wait, no, maybe not page
Right.
5.
Someone automatically disqualifies themselves. Now you don't have a quorum.
Yeah.
Right.
So, well, no, you could start a meeting with a quorum.
Correct.
You could fall below a quorum if someone recuses themselves, but you, you can't ask an alternate to sit if there are no alternates here because you told them to stay home. Just a,
Right.
They have
That
the
catch
right
22,
to
I-
attend any meeting.
Yeah.
They
and
should be
they
attending
should.
any
Yeah, I
meeting.
thought I read something about the
Most
alternates
alternates.
should
They
be
should be
present, yeah.
attending at every meeting.
But we don't have any alternates,
No.
correct?
we don't have it.
Yeah.
That's why I'm like asking the zoning.
No, but I mean, but
Especially
the
for
idea is
April.
that if you're an alternate, you show up anyway so that you're on top of
The cases.
the
correct.
cases so that if it is a case is continued and let's say you can't make the continued part of it, they could step in and they understand where we're at.
Right.
I believe they could even, could they sit at the table? No, they can't sit at the table.
If the next week, yes.
No,
you
no, if
can.
they're an alternate.
No, cannot sit
Yeah,
at
they
the
can't
table.
sit at the table, but if they're called to sit, let's say you recuse or you're just not here the next case, and they could come in and take your spot for that
Right.
for that meeting.
And I guess it's up to us to decide on the order of business.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd like minutes moved way down.
Me too.
Well, we've always done that unless
2 and 3 needs to go down to the bottom.
I agree. And 1,
And then
2,
10 is other business. That's how we
and-
usually do it.
Well, I would think 3 should be second if there's any correspondence.
Well, that's like driveway permits or things like that, so they don't have to
well,
be done in the beginning.
could you have
Well, it could
have
be letters to the planning board about, it could be, opinions about cases that are going to be heard that
Well,
night.
then it would fall, I think, in
within the
that.
case.
Yeah, yeah.
if
It's usually been like informational stuff.
if you have a hypothetical, if you have correspondence and someone is against a project and they write a letter or an email to the board,
You know that ahead of time.
you know that ahead of time, so you would put that
Mhm.
at the
You have that
Case.
as
That
the
would be in
chair.
your
You would have
packet.
that ahead of time.
I'm just thinking out loud. So.
Right.
We used to get correspondence on things like DES,
Yep.
driveway permits,
Right.
that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And I think that's
Just
why that was put in
informational.
here.
Yeah.
And we don't get those anymore.
No.
You do.
Yeah, there's
They're in your
letters you
packets.
put in the packets.
And you get them
But
ahead
they're
of
in with
time.
the case,
Correct.
not separate.
Right.
The only one I could think of recently happened in zoning where a gentleman came and then he had something from his neighbor in case we needed it that he could read, basically like a character letter, but that was kind of a rare thing and more of a zoning. I don't really see how that would come into play in planning, but
And then if he's presenting the letter, how do we really know that his neighbor wrote it?
right. We didn't even
that's too-
actually,
yeah.
It wasn't allowed.
yeah.
Okay.
We
Yeah.
were like, okay, thanks.
I love my
So
neighbor.
sorry.
My neighbor's
But
great
look
and
at
they can
that-
do
look
whatever
at
they want.
Because I think the reason we moved everything to the bottom was so that people didn't have to wait around
For the-
while we did all
yes.
kinds of
Right.
Yeah, I like that.
bookkeeping.
We can change that around to
Yeah.
suit what we've been doing.
Seems like there's a lot of housekeeping to do in this thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we didn't want to make any decisions without you. So if you want us to change it around is what we've been doing, we can do that and then show it to you and then you make a decision whether or not it's okay or not.
I think
I'm in
can
agreement
do
with
that.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's a good consensus because
It's so helpful.
we'll take a year to go through this.
Yeah, I can come up with something and have Pat look at it and we can go from there. And then you guys can do some tweaks on it from a new fresh version that has updated RSAs and titles and language and
You'll
stuff.
have that email to us by tomorrow, 12 noon. No, just kidding.
I probably could.
No, I'm just kidding.
Don't test me.
I have a question on the joint meetings again. If we had a joint meeting, the zoning would only be voting on the variance or what? Okay.
So
Have
it's,
we ever had a joint meeting
Just,
with
they're
the ZBA?
just trying to do it one
can't think
time.
of-
yeah.
we,
Yeah, we did.
we did it
Remember
once.
Yeah.
Years and years ago.
Yeah, it hasn't recent.
Nope.
So the only thing I'm concerned about is I think planning board members should have to give more than day of notice. I think it should be 24 hours in advance, or at least by close of business the Monday before the meeting.
If they can, Jeff tonight, Selectman Hines came home from work and had an emergency, came home to a emergency
Yeah,
at
maybe
home.
barring emergencies, yeah.
Right, so, I
Or
mean,
you have an illness, you get sick all of a sudden.
Well, I mean,
there are some things that you can't control,
yeah, I mean,
and it would be nice that he called right away, but you can't control
We could
those
say,
things.
pending emergency situations or something of that nature for
But every
sickness.
case
Or,
is on. I mean, I've had cases where I couldn't be here, or I was going to be late because I was in Colebrook or something, and
Right,
it was snowing. And
as
And
long
you-
as I
But you
think
wouldn't
that,
know that till that day.
right,
Yeah,
I wouldn't
and
know.
you get,
but you wouldn't know it
Right.
by noon day of either.
That's, yeah, I only go Thursdays now. I try to only go Thursdays, so.
you're absolutely right, but you get a good sense of your day, and we would know it, and at least if you're out of town, or if you're on vacation, or you have a family member that's in need of you or whatever, we all know those days come to us. And, if you're away on vacation, and all of a sudden, the zoning meeting that happened a week or so ago where nobody was in a quorum, there were two people that we called. And the first one was in the Cape. Oh, I'm on vacation. I forgot to call.
You can
Wasn't
lead them
me.
to water, but you can't make them drink.
Like that's something where they should ideally know weeks in advance because they've planned a vacation.
But it happens. I mean, life gets in the way and you get busy and you say, oh crap, I forgot to call. So, yeah, we really need to step it up a little bit, because those things happen. Say, oh, you know what? I'm working out of town and I forgot to call you this week. And the second one, that was the second one. I'm working out of town and I'm sorry I didn't call.
Yeah, 'cause
When
I
we
mean,
get-
because how much? Because if you find out noon day of that there's not going to be a quorum, that could be too late to prevent members of the public from incurring costs to attend.
In this case, it wouldn't have, but we would have been able to stop it, but we couldn't have because we didn't know.
Yeah.
At least you stop them from showing up. I mean,
We didn't.
no.
They showed
But
up.
if we had enough notice, at least we could.
Yeah,
yeah,
at least
sure
we
we
could have
can't.
stopped them to incurring that expense, but
yeah.
we didn't. And they
Yeah.
showed up, and we had to incur another expense and send out a butters notice again in a special meeting, and we got
Yeah.
it done, but
and they had to come up from Massachusetts twice.
Yeah,
That's not too bad.
That's tough. That's just doesn't. It's not a good.
Yeah, when they're
look for the town.
busy. Yeah.
no, it's not a good look for the town. And
And
not
Now-
a good look for us either.
I just think it should at least be, you let land use know that you can't attend, the
24
day,
hours.
the day before, if not the Friday before, because that,
Oh boy,
Yeah.
Friday before is tough because
Mhm.
so much can happen over a weekend that.
right, but pending, emergencies. I mean, you, Jane, and I
I mean,
could
vacation.
get in a
should know.
three-way car crash on the way here, like.
Hey, I got the jet today. I'm going. I'm out.
Would it be helpful if I looked at other towns and see what
Yeah.
theirs is, and maybe find a common ground for that and present it to you guys next time you want to start with 24 hours?
Plagiarism
Go
is
from
a
there.
form of flattery.
Noon.
Noon?
Noon.
You stay with noon? Okay.
Stay with
I
me.
like noon because it's easy to remember. Like, oh, it's 4:00. So I have, because
Right.
you guys are usually here at least
Here.
at by
I mean,
noontime.
it's not my board, so I'm fine with whatever.
I like noon.
Okay.
I like noon too.
The other part of that is I never respond if I am attending. Would you prefer we just say, yeah, I'll be there? I just don't respond unless I'm not gonna or something came up.
Well, we'd like to know one way or another.
Yeah.
Okay,
I
I
just
mean,
don't like
maybe
when
we
people
should
respond to all.
I don't think we require it right now, but it would be nice.
I mean, if people aren't stating that they are affirmatively attending, then you can't assume no communication is yes.
If you don't respond that you're going to attend, we then have to take out of our time and our day to pick up the phone and call you and say, hey, are you going to come? Because we don't have any respond either way. So we then have to put down what we're doing and pick up the phone and call and wait for you to respond at that point.
Is a
Yeah.
text message acceptable form to
Well,
let
either
you know?
way, text or call, it doesn't matter.
Well, no, I'm
Some-
just saying,
Some want
sometimes-
text messages, some call, some don't want call, they want emails. So, I mean, we have to run the gamut over here.
So maybe we should
Yeah.
put.
No,
if
I
you're
get that,
Able
but like,
or unable to attend instead
yeah, I
of
say you let her know either way.
Yeah.
on there.
I just call if
I
I'm
will
not
say
coming.
that Nathan let me know that he was coming and it was very helpful because I knew I didn't have to call you. So it did give me peace of mind that one person said, I'll be there.
'Cause I would almost think, if by, end of day on Monday, you haven't heard, that members are attending, or by noon on Tuesday, you haven't heard that enough members are attending for a quorum, you almost then have to go, okay, we're canceling, we're notifying all of the, participants because,
And then everybody shows up and then my ass is grass.
right, yeah.
So,
So
yeah,
put it,
thank you. No,
yeah,
thank
put
you.
both in there, able and unable in there. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'll try to be a good girl from now on.
yeah. So it's like, you can't, it's, you're dancing a fine line here because now you're canceling. You have to remember that this is a quasi-legal board.
Yeah.
And so we're required by law to make available these times for these hearings and public hearings and so on and so forth. So when we do that,
And it really
we have
shouldn't be
to
your
remember,
responsibility.
we have to remember that the board is made up of adults. Adults know when to show up, when they're supposed to show up. And if they can't show up, make a phone call. Simple as that.
I was gonna say, that's,
It's as simple as that. Just make a phone call. If you can't make it, make a phone call. If you can make it, make a phone call. Just let us know one way or another.
Yeah.
And that's what rules of procedure are for, that it really is a trigger of the memory. We want you to know in the new members of the board to say, hey, there are rules of procedure. You need to follow them. You trigger them. There's a little bit of tweaking going on here because they're very old. But listen, there are rules of procedure here. We need to follow them. You're a quasi-legal board. And the last month or so, it's been very difficult to fill some quasi-legal boards that we have here. So let's look at them. Let's look at this. Mandy and I will tweak the rules of procedure for planning. We'll bring it back to you and you'll look at it. But from this point on, moving forward, if you can make it, let us know that you're going to be here next month at the time that you're going to be here. Let us know that, yeah, you're going to attend, and then we cross you off and we say, hey, they're coming, then no problem. And we'll know that you're going to be coming. And if you're not going to be coming, if you let us know ahead of time, that would be great too.
I mean, I've had to put it in my phone because I'm easily distracted. And there's
Yeah.
even been a time Eric will text me 15 minutes. I'll be there in 5. Because I don't live too far, but
Right.
they call it squirrel because I get easily distracted.
We're still short technically a member, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's one of those things where even if someone were missing meetings and not
Well, we
providing
still-
notification,
We still have to have 4 members to have a
Yeah.
quorum.
yeah,
Right.
we're limited in our ability to remove inactive members.
4, yeah.
Or ones who don't show up.
All right. We'll get a good start on
trying to
this,
be good
I
now.
think.
Nobody
Okay.
wants to do that, Christine.
I know. I'm
It's not a
I'm
fun,
trying to be good.
it's not a fun job. It's not,
All right.
I get
You're
so
not the only one.
distracted.
We'll come back
But
to
you're
this
not the
then
only
next
one.
meeting.
Yeah, make the
remember that.
I'll make it pretty.
Now I got my parents here, so
pictures, please, color, whatever. No,
Got it.
just kidding.
Thank you
Next,
for doing that, and we'll look
All
that
right,
over.
next is,
we have
we have,
perks.
a year ago, we approved at town meeting short-term rental. And the short-term rental says that you have to get a permit from the town of Tilton. Well,
We don't have a permit.
we have one, but we don't have one. We need one approved by the planning board. We just want you to approve this particular one. It is, you can ask Lakes Region Planning Commission. This is a thorn in everybody's side, is short-term rentals. They're very, very hard to define. They're very hard to
Track down.
track down. They're very hard to permit. And they're very hard to,
So many different avenues online that people can put things up.
Well, and I'm sure there are a lot of these in town that we don't even know about.
Oh, there's a ton. Yeah.
If you Google short-term rentals in Tilton, you'll get 106.
And I
Very
think that kind
specific. You seem to know this from experience.
I do know this from experience. And so that's why we went into the short-term rental zoning amendment, because you cannot control this. And the reason why we did this was because we had several phone calls after people would rent them, because it was not up to their expectation of spending $3,000 a month for a rental, and there were holes in the floor and the bathroom didn't work, and it was sewage in the back and so on and so forth. And this is the conditions that we were working under, and we couldn't do any, we had no authority to go out there because we had nothing to define it and no ordinances to have any teeth in it. So that's why now we have an ordinance, and now we can go out there and say, hey, do you know that you're supposed to have a application and you're not supposed to do this, and so on and so forth. And now we have a little bit of leverage that we can do it, but we don't really have a permit. So we're asking you to,
So these 106 short-term rentals that you found,
well, as we find them,
you send them
we
a,
send them a letter.
okay.
And we came across 3 in our endeavors for other violations in the neighborhood. And we found out that just last week, we found 3 others that were short-term rentals in the neighborhood, and we have those on our list to send out letters,
Are these certified letters or?
certified,
Okay.
correct. And
Thank
so now our postal, by the way, our postal budget has gone skyrocketing, but we would like to send this out with our violation letter and say, here's the application, here's the zoning ordinance, and here's this. But we can't do that because this was never approved by the planning board.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
I would like to make a motion to approve the conditional use permit application.
No,
Nope.
short-term rental.
Short-term rental.
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 Don't they both need to be done?
Well, they
Yes.
do, but
That we were talking about short-term rentals.
Okay, I thought the CUP was a prerequisite to the short-term rentals, though.
No. Two separate.
It is, yeah. You have to do the condition, they have to get approval from the planning board. That, it's tough because if it's already there, we would just send out the violation, right?
Well, no, because it would be if it isn't approved by the planning board, when it
Go
gets
look.
shut down.
stop giving me a couple of days off, my brain.
Because wouldn't that be the same as someone not doing a change of use for like a
I would
commercial
think so
space?
too.
Yeah, I think he has a
mean,
point that,
Yeah.
I mean, if they're already doing it, you're gonna violate them, they still have to get
Right.
the conditional use, then they still have to get the
Right.
short term, so.
That's how other
are
towns were
kinda
doing it, is
one
they
and-
were making people come for conditional use and then doing their permit through the land use office for the, so like 2 separate fees essentially.
Because if,
But I
if
know
you don't have
Pat
a
had-
conditional use, then you're going to lose your certificate of occupancy, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
So
so I think, yeah, you have a point. I think Pat has it up, so.
Go ahead. You just keep going. I'm just going to look up conditional use.
So can we
Yeah,
Yep,
go
can-
do the short-term one first.
we can do the short-term one first.
Okay. Uh,
Did you make the motion, Eric? I mean, Nate?
So I guess, okay. What is the fine amount? Because I see that there's a $150 fee
A year.
that's renewed each year. But if someone doesn't get a conditional use permit and a short-term rental permit, then
What is the fine?
what's the fine amount? What's the fining mechanism, I guess?
And I think Pat would be the one to, because she does the code violations. And there's, I think it's, correct me if I'm wrong, Pat, $275 a day,
$250 a day.
$250 a day. If
Oh.
they don't comply within, is it 30 days, Pat?
Yep.
And
Okay.
is that specific to
Violation.
the short-term rental or just
No,
a general code? Okay, cool. All right.
Violation.
So it's not something that needs to be outlined specifically
Right.
in this application? All right, then I
Well,
would,
we can put it in. It's not, we can put it in. It's a good thing to put in.
Subject to penalty of $250 per day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's something I could add at the end before the signature as an acknowledgement.
Yeah.
Can put it in there.
Yep.
Yeah, I can do that.
okay. Then I would like to make a motion to approve the short-term rental permit application with the change of adding the fine amount to the application.
I'll
Second.
Motion in 2 seconds. Any other discussion?
James.
Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
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 Motion passes. Now our next permit is conditional use permits. Is this riding piggyback with the short-term rental or?
Yep, and this was actually originally a conditional use permit for specifically wetlands, but it has other uses, so we remove the word wetlands to just make it universal instead of making a new form. And then just giving it a facelift to match the other permits that have been updated.
There'll be so many people that need that because it currently is only allowed in RC and RG. So
Well, so it's one
people
of
have
those,
their garages, they have, traveling nurses, they have students.
well,
right?
it's one of those things where, like, if you're not in either of those zones,
Yeah,
you're
You
going to
have
have to
to.
shut down the
Mhm.
operation
Mhm.
because of
without that
what
permit.
the town. No,
Without
you-
the
you-
permit,
No,
correct?
I thought you could not, because
You
I
can't
thought-
have a short-term rental in the village district, that's for sure.
so they're only allowed in the resort commercial
Correct.
and regional commercial, regional commercial
Yep.
with a conditional use. So any of the other
Oh.
districts, they're not allowed,
Oh,
period.
So
So if-
residential people like agricultural, those,
Yep,
they're
so
not
According
allowed?
to the zoning ordinance
Oh, that's gonna
that was
hurt a
passed,
lot
it's
of
only
people.
in the resort and regional commercial, according to our zoning ordinance,
Okay.
not because of the conditional use permit. It's the zoning ordinance.
So someone would have to get like a variance at zoning or something like that.
which, well, that's not allowed per the amendment that was passed by the town.
Wow.
There was no language as
Well,
far
they're
as
shutting a lot of people
variances.
down.
If you look at number 3 on the back that actually has the zoning ordinance, it does state all of what Pat just said. So
Well, that's where he,
yeah,
I was reading it, yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, essentially, they would have to cease operation, or they'd get fined to the point where a lien would be placed on
But
the
they could go
property,
to
I
zoning,
assume.
couldn't they?
Well, because
Town's gonna want the money.
this was passed
Last
But
year, but can
by
you-
Oh,
this was
they-
passed during
It was town meeting.
yeah.
Oh,
This is a zoning amendment change. So if it says it's only in resort commercial and regional commercial, they would have to go to the zoning for variance.
yeah.
And boy, I don't know.
Okay,
If I were a zoning member and it was voted on in a town meeting to say, I only want short-term rentals in resort commercial and regional commercial, and somebody wants it in the village district, would I pass it? I don't know.
Yeah, not in village, but I'm like agricultural.
Knowing that it was passed only for 2 specific zones, I don't know.
That's gonna
Well, I
be a
mean,
lot of people.
if
That's a lot of people.
if the language of that article that was voted on and approved at town meeting didn't include language for a path for a variance, then
All our zoning amendments include a path for a variance. It's either in it or it's not in it. If it's not in it, it includes a path for a variance. So if it's not in it, you can go for zoning for a variance. So
you can essentially do anything anywhere in Tilton
If you
if
got
you were to get a
approved.
variance. Like you could open a strip club on Main Street,
Yeah.
even though it's specifically not allowed due to the
Right.
number of churches and stuff like that. Okay.
Opening one on School Street.
So all the people outside of RC and RG
You
are
could
gonna
try.
have to.
right.
In
Well-
a lot of other towns and cities and Lakes Region Planning, they were all also agreeing that they have the same. Because I was curious comparing our zoning, and it's very similar. Meredith, I mean, you got to imagine Meredith has a ton, Wolfboro, and they also only allowed it. They call their resort commercial by the water like shore it's some other zoning type, but it's similar where it's like a resort commercial. And they only allow 2 zones. Like almost everybody only allowed 2 zones.
Yeah, it's
And their
very
zoning boards
controversial, Meredith.
deny a lot of them.
Because I'm thinking a lot of people did more rentals to pay for their property taxes to,
Yeah.
so, whew,
Well,
I'm
so
just-
what they would have to do is
they'd have to go to zoning.
no, they'd likely, if they couldn't get a zoning variance
if they
approval, they'd have to transition to month. And so,
No,
you
it
know.
says it can be 1 day.
right, no, they
Would have to make it a long-term rental.
Oh,
they'd have to do monthly rentals, whether or not people are actually gonna which
interesting.
would then
Okay.
make it, more difficult to, to rent out, and they're, getting less customers,
What
per
if they say
period.
they're doing month to month, but the person moves out in 1 month and then they tell it's, oh, we'll do the month to month the next person.
31
mean,
days, as long as they say 31 more days.
Yes, this is crazy.
And it's why it's hard for a lot of towns and cities to keep tabs on it.
People
Meredith-
do above their garage.
Meredith
they
pays
do-
$35,000 a year for software that does all this for them because that's how much it updates.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Okay.
I would just think if
they come and go all the time. People take
So
them
a
off,
lot of
put 'em
people,
on.
what they're doing now is they're using tiny homes or accessory dwelling and renting those out. But if you actually read the zoning amendment that was passed, it says here, accessory apartment use, property owners with both a principal dwelling unit and accessory apartment can apply for a CUP, conditional use permit, for only one of the units, not both for short-term use. You cannot do that.
Yeah, it's one housing unit per physical property.
Yeah. Correct. We have one now that is in that area that has a house, an apartment, and a tiny home. And the tiny home is used as a short-term rental.
Hmm.
Can't do it.
Oh,
Yeah, I mean,
well,
not
good luck with
unless.
that.
yeah, but a lot of that is almost very hard to identify unless someone else tells you about it because
Well, we were happened to be at a neighbor's home on a lot line dispute, and we were walking it, and it happened to be a tiny home within their easement going to the lake.
Oh.
How were they allowed to build that tiny home in the first place?
Well, the tiny home was on wheels, and
so it's not even permitted then.
it doesn't have to be.
They also
But-
built a gazebo too on the.
Well,
on the
well,
east
well
on
no,
the
if,
tiny-
if it's on wheels, then isn't it essentially a mobile home or trailer and would still require, or wouldn't it fall under the same
It's
stuff
still
as
a
RVs?
rental and you can't rent it.
Yeah,
Right.
Wow.
No matter what, you can't do it.
because we
But-
don't allow trailers or like RVs or anything on property outside of like you're constructing a home and it's
Mobile
like a
homes
6
or
month,
manufactured homes or
it's
anything.
like a 6 month period where you're allowed to have it while you're building the actual
Right.
dwelling unit.
But you can't do that. And, but this person was unaware of that because that person is a out-of-stater landlord. Didn't realize that we passed it a year ago. So we gave him the information and he's abiding by the rule, hopefully. So we'll see.
I guess
We're on your radar.
that's something we'll need to check on.
Oh, he's definitely on my radar.
But I mean, now he knows about the easement. So part of it is kind of like letting them know where their property lines and stuff are because their tenants were using the dock slip for their own use when it was somebody else's because,
Right.
you know, the whole across the street thing. So
It was an educational tool.
yeah.
So,
sure.
I mean, there's a lot of this going on and they're advertising it. We had just about 4 houses up last year before Mandy's time. We had an advertisement in Zillow for a house going up for sale with a $70,000 rental, short-term rental agreement attached to it. Well, there's no short-term rentals in Tilton, number one, but this was advertised as that. So when we called it and said, well, how do you get a short-term rental in Tilton? Because there are no short-term rentals in Tilton. And there's certainly no short-term rentals in resort commercial. So they took the listing down. They couldn't advertise it. And we didn't have at the time this ordinance passed.
Yeah. Well, I guess
It
before an
got passed
ordinance,
after that, and they got sent it directly after that.
well, I guess prior to there being an ordinance, short-term rentals were allowed everywhere in Tilton until it,
They were never discussed. Whether or not they were allowed was a different thing. That was never discussed.
well, it's in unless something is officially disallowed through like zoning.
Building. You can't just build an apartment and not tell anybody about the apartment.
Right,
And that's
because
what was happening.
because that's covered by legislation. We had legislation to control the building of structures, but not necessarily to control the use of a structure as a short-term rental. Until it was banned, it was permitted because it wasn't a thing. I mean, you could argue it's been probably hundreds of years that people have been renting out their cabins on the water or whatever for weeks at a time, like before it got official
And then we
language.
had ADUs. That was the first thing that came up.
It gets messy.
Now they think they can rent anything.
Right.
All right, let's bring it back to this conditional use permit. We went off on a little tangent there.
Yep.
It was a good one, though.
Motion to approve the conditional use permit.
Second.
Motion is second. Any other discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes.
Minutes. Should I start eating minutes?
We already
Oh,
did
did it already?
Good.
Because you put it on top of this in the agenda. Is there
Tried
anything
to
else
put it
to come
earlier.
legally become? Is there anyone online? There is no one online. Is there anything else to come legally before this board this evening?
Motion to adjourn.
2 motions to adjourn. Any discussion? Is it non-debatable? Is there no
Second.
second? All those in favor say aye.
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 We are adjourned at 7:31. Thank you.